Alright, so I'm going to be doing a review on the Supergirl Flash crossover. Yeah, first we had Superman and Batman finally meet, now we have Supergirl and the Flash finally meet. This episode was pretty good. Now, granted, I have not been keeping up with the Supergirl episodes, mostly because I kind of dropped out of it. I just wasn't feeling it, but actually, from what I understand, the episodes have actually gotten better. Like, when they introduced Martian Manhunter, that's when everything, like, kicked into high gear, and we got some really excellent episodes with Supergirl. The first few episodes, guys, you gotta admit, those first few episodes were really hard to watch, like, really hard to sit through, so you can understand why I was just like, I don't care. But maybe I'll go back and give it another watch. But let's talk about this episode right now. So, the big thing with this episode is that, obviously, yes, this is the Flash and Arrow meeting. I think this is so cool that we're getting, the CW show in NBC. I think that's so cool. It's kind of like when we saw Constantine and Arrow. But however, unlike Constantine and Arrow, the Flash and Supergirl crossover is a little more like it's from the get-go. Like, this is it. Here you go. It's not like with the Constantine Arrow crossover where in that episode Constantine was mostly seen in the background, in the flashbacks, and he barely did anything until the third act. It was still cool, but he was barely in the episode. Whereas this one, Barry Allen and Supergirl are, boom, here you go. Also, I kind of feel like the whole thing of him running into the other universe so fast, and he's like, oh, I'm just getting fast, that's me. I feel like, there should have been some build-up, because it just comes out of nowhere, honestly, and the thing with this episode is that it just goes 0 to 100 in a second. I feel like, would have been a cool way to introduce to play this episode out is like in the last episode where you had Trajectory, the episode with Trajectory, and they find out that Jay Garrick, or a version of Jay Garrick, was Zoom. What happens is that Flash we saw at the end of the episode, Barry's so angry he runs, and he runs to this waterfall and starts screaming. You know what I think would have been a cooler idea? Is that he runs so fast, he ends up ripping a hole into another universe, and he ends up in, National City, Supergirl's turf, and he's like, what the hell just happened? And then it had been like, boom, to be continued in Supergirl. Yeah, I think that had been cool. And yeah, the whole point of this episode is similar to how Batman v Superman is to introduce a DC cinematic universe. This is to introduce a multiverse and hopefully get the the DC CW universe and all the other DC shows into one connected universe. Which, yeah, okay, if there wasn't only one other show that was connected, I mean, Lucifer and Gotham are, well, I don't think Gotham would be connected, but I doubt they'll connect Lucifer and Preacher, because those are Vertigo titles. Yeah. But anyway, also, before I forget, real quick, there was one joke that it felt so forced, like when Barry meets Cat Grant along with Jimmy Olsen and what's-his-face, Male Felicity, that's what I call him, Male Felicity. They meet with Cat Grant, and she says, you all look like a well-dressed cast of a CW TV show. And I literally said out loud, fucking really? That's the joke you're going with? That felt forced, and it felt stupid. I was like, really? Really? I mean the peacock joke in Arrow and Constantine with the peacock feather, and he just used it to scratch his back, just like as a middle finger for, NBC canceling Constantine. I thought that was a clever joke. That was a very clever joke. The CW joke that Cat Grant said, I'm literally like, wow. That was forced. That was really forced. But yeah, also in here we get the origin story of Silver Banshee, which I don't care. I mean, I like Silver Banshee. She's a cool Superman villain. She's underrated, but I feel like, this whole thing of, I'm just going to instantly kill Supergirl because of the curse. And to which I respond with, man, they just threw out that origin story real quick, didn't they? They also had, where was I going with this? I found it really stupid that they just let, after they discover that she's a metahuman and she's taken to, to be studied. And then the next thing you know, in the next scene, she's walking around without any armed protection, armed guards there, and she sees Livewire's prison. And then the next scene, she somehow manages to sneak back there and scream to release Livewire, and I was like, really? God damn, the security here is just lax as all get out. Man, seriously. But yeah, the stuff with Barry and Kara was pretty fun. I did like how they gelled together. It was a lot of fun. I just real quick, and I brought this up before when I did my Supergirl pilot review. Real quick, the thing about that is, the thing with that is that I just don't care about her doing the whole mousy, the mousy secretary thing. The thing that is, and you could say, well, Clark does the same thing. No, Clark does that, but at least he has a backbone some of the time. He has a backbone, and he's not this mousy guy all the time. Here, it's the point where it's nauseating. She's like, oh well, yeah, well, okay, I'm not Supergirl. Yeah, and goddamn, do I hate Cat Grant. I mean, I know she has a character arc behind her, but I'm just like, God, Heidi Klum, could you just not deliver these lines without making it sound like I want to punch your face through your face? Because that's a sentence. Yeah. And I just don't care about the romance with Jimmy Olsen. Then again, I've never really cared about a DCCW, this isn't DCCW, but I've never really cared about a superhero romance on TV because it never fucking works. It's dragged on, and it just sucks. But no, I will admit that I think I thought it was cool how they managed to, do the whole, this is supposed to be the introduction to seeing more stuff from the multiverse, which I'm actually like, okay, that's a cool way to play it out. Where was I going with this? I just lost my train of thought. It just derailed on me. But yeah, the thing is that it's going to introduce the DC multiverse in the silver screen, which, goddamn, do you need it? Because, I feel like, I have my complaints about the DC shows, but they have some good, there's at least some continuity there that I can get behind, unlike in the movies where everything gets crammed in. And that's the other thing with this episode I feel it hurts. It's the same thing with Batman v Superman, where I feel like, let's do the Silver Banshee origin. Oh, but look, Supergirl and Flash are hanging out. Oh yeah, there's also this thing where, Jimmy Olsen's getting jealous at Barry Allen. Brrr, it's so packed with stuff. Yeah. I don't hate this episode, and I hate this, and I don't want to sound like I am, because this is actually a lot of fun, When I saw Supergirl and Flash actually meet each other, I was like, this is so cool. And seeing them hang out and how well, both actors played off each other so well, I thought it was so cool. It just kind of felt like, the start of it is just like, man, that felt fan-fiction-y. He's like, oh, he just ran so fast. But no, Grant Gustin is so good as Barry Allen. It's so, and I'm just thinking, man, I really hope when we get the Flash movie they don't cancel the Flash just so there won't be more than one Flash, because DC and Warner Brothers is stupid like that. It's kind of like how, when they killed off Deadshot, just so, there wouldn't be confusion between the Suicide Squad movie. Yeah, because in one Suicide Squad movie, the other, there's one guy who's not being played by Will Smith. That's not, people would get so confused, right? Anyway. The team up between Flash and Supergirl was cool. I felt like the fight was a little towards the end, but it was just fun. This was just a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get to see more of it. I know Stephen Amell really wants to do an Arrow Supergirl crossover, so maybe have Supergirl come to his universe and end up in Star City. I'd be cool with that, even if it's an Arrow episode. I will admit that, the Constantine episode was pretty cool, even though, the lack of, not a lot of Constantine, but maybe they can get, Arrow and Supergirl be cool. But knowing these asshats, they'd probably make it Arrow v Supergirl. Dawn of Stupidity. So yeah, it would just be Batman v Superman, but instead it'd be Supergirl and Arrow. Supergirl and Green Arrow fighting. And it but hey, maybe we get a stupid-looking Green Arrow armor suit. Who knows? Anyway. All in all, I really did enjoy this, despite my, the complaints here and there. this has given me inspiration to at least go back and look at some of the episodes of Supergirl, because I kind of dropped off the series early on. But, yeah, this was a lot of fun. I think this was worth the hype, honestly. So you guys tell me, what did you all think of the Flash Supergirl crossover? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.